Deceive Inc. has been out for a few weeks now. Tripwire just announced the release of the new season along with a huge balance update. In this video, we're going to cover everything we know about Season 1 so far. Season 1 is going to be named Misery Empire. One of the more anticipated features that's coming is called the Heat system. Right now you can play pretty aggressively, and there's very little risk for doing spy checks. A spy check is when you shoot a random NPC because you think there's an outside chance that there might be another player. If there's no other agents around, you can pretty much just get back into cover with no penalties. With the introduction of the new Heat system, we should see a lot less of this. You'll notice a new bar under your health bar. That's your heat level. There's 3 different levels. The bar will start to fill when you kill innocent NPCs. Whenever you reach a new heat level, your penalty will become more severe. At level 1, you'll be 30% more vulnerable to damage for 12 seconds. Level 2 will be 50% for 15 seconds, and level 3 will be 100% for 20 seconds, and you'll be exposed. You will not be able to regain cover for the duration of the 20 seconds. Heat level will naturally start venting once you get back into cover and stop taking out innocent NPCs. Be warned, if you take out an innocent VIP, your heat level will go straight to 3. So make sure it's a real player before you start shooting. I think this is going to be a great change. It's going to make people play more stealthy, which is I think what the developers originally intended. We're also going to be seeing some changes to the team modes. First up, teams are going to start sharing intel. Right now the intel is effectively triple because each player on their team can take each piece. This has resulted in the matches going a little too fast. Teams are just blowing through the objectives with very little strategy because of all the intel that's out there. In the new update, intel is going to be once per team instead of once per person, which should slow things down a little bit. We're also going to see a change to the revive mechanic. Right now, you can only be revived once, and it can be really frustrating if you get taken out early in the match. In Season 1, you'll be able to be revived 3 times, but there'll be a penalty each time you get revived, so it's not going to be free. The first time you get revived, you'll get 75% of your health back. The second time, you'll get 50% of your health back. And the third time you'll get 30% of your health back. So the more you get revived, the more cautious you're going to have to be while playing. The developers are also making some interesting changes to the vault terminal rooms. Rooms that contain a vault terminal will never have a purple or orange keycard. Rooms that contain a vault terminal will no longer have a purple field upgrade chest. Rooms that do not have a vault terminal will have a guaranteed keycard, either purple or orange. Rooms that do not have a vault terminal will have a purple chest. Purple rooms in the vault will now have 2 purple chests per room. Green rooms will have a buff spawn pool to make them more useful for the overall flow of the game. The overall goal of these changes is to make it more rewarding to find the rooms without the vault terminals, and to give you an incentive to find them even if you found a vault terminal on your first try. I'm excited about this change. We all know how disappointing this is to spend all your intel to get into a vault room only to get nothing but a purple upgrade. Next up, they're going to be making some changes to jumping. Right now when you jump, you have a lot of control of the direction of your character, which makes it very easy to airstrafe and very hard for the other player to predict where you're going to land. In Season 1, you won't be able to control your character as much in the air. This should make firefights a lot less frustrating. You will, however, have more control when jumping on a bounce pad or falling from a rooftop. They're also going to increase XP for solo matches. Tripwire realizes how much harder it is to win solo, so we're going to be getting a 30% increase in overall XP for solo matches. As a result, winning a solo match will be much more rewarding. They're making some changes to hitboxes too. They're tweaking them to be a lot more accurate to their silhouettes, and they're also making hitboxes on smaller characters a little bit more permissive. They're also removing limb damage from arms, which I didn't even know was a thing. Some characters have more prominent arms, so they decided that limb damage on arms is not fair. These changes are subtle, but should help keep a more consistent field of fights overall. They're also making some changes to gun recoil, but they didn't really go into detail on what they're changing. They just said they're hoping to make the gunplay feel overall better. We're getting some changes to vertical audio and weapon sound range. What this means is you should be able to tell if gunshots are coming from above or below you much easier. You also won't be able to hear silencer shots from as far away as you can hear sniper shots. This should result in a much more realistic weapon soundscape and make it easier to pinpoint firefights. Next up is NPC range. The radius in which NPCs are scared from weapon fire has been tweaked to better account for map verticality. Previously, NPCs could get scared from fights happening pretty high above or below them. This creates a lot of confusion when you see a scared NPC running around because of a fight that's not happening on your floor. That can get really frustrating. In addition to everything I've discussed so far, we're also getting a rework to the results screen. The mission report screen will give you much more detail about what you've accomplished and also tell you about how many credits you've earned. Season 1 is bringing with it a HUD rework. This new layout puts the heat level under your health bar on the left-hand side, and it puts your expertise on the right with your loadout to better read the remaining cooldown when it's available in a pinch. We're getting an ink menu preview. You can now see your character's weapon when changing inks, so you can see exactly what it's going to look like. Same goes for gadgets. We're also getting an increase in the gadget drop range. The range at which you can drop placeable gadgets has been increased. This should help not gooing yourself with the goo pod and enable cheekier replacements with gadgets overall. This next change is really going to affect the endgame. Carrier empowered nav mode tweaks. Now you'll see spies instead of NPCs when scanning. Mimic players now show up as crouched spy silhouettes. No more undetectable mimics. This gives the scan players a chance to reposition in between scans and still surprise the carrier since they don't know which NPC disguise they have. In addition, empowered vision now costs intel up front, which means that quick scan repeatedly will cost 1 intel and you can no longer abuse the strategy. We should also see improvement in melee's reliability in a variety of scenarios, especially when trying to hit somebody close to a wall. We'll be seeing something called Vault Terminal Agent Alert. If 2 agents of opposite teams are in the same purple room with an active vault terminal inside, the vault terminal screen will glow red and play a short alarm sound. This goes both ways. Campers waiting by a vault terminal will alert the person entering, and someone looting a purple room and getting a visit will know that a rival spy just entered. This alarm is disabled as soon as the vault terminal is turned off. We're also getting an increase in level cap. The new level cap will be 300. Levels 2 to 300 will require more XP than before. At level 300, you'll get an exclusive ink that you can flex in all your games. We're getting tweaks to cover regeneration timers. Basic cover regeneration will be a little bit faster, especially when standing still. While blowing your cover should have consequences, the current timing was long enough that even perfectly executed plans could result in you getting third-partied after the fact. The developers have found that players are struggling to get back into cover because it's taking too long. This often results in a prolonged shooting spree that affects the entire lobby. This isn't a major timing change, but the effect should be beneficial to the loop of executing a well-planned strike and disappearing back into the crowd. And lastly, they're tweaking some of the levels. In the training range in the lobby, we're getting a DPS screen. You can now shoot the dummies in both the training range and the pre-game lobby to get an accurate representation of how much damage you deal at different ranges. Silver Reef. They've added some props in the submarine glass corridors to provide more interesting firefights in the extraction phase. Diamond Spire. They've added visual cover in the main ground floor to make it less of a danger zone. They've also added cover to the ground floor courtyard, and added new exits to some of the meeting rooms that only had one entrance. The doors that lead to the vault terminal are no longer transparent, preventing you from knowing what lies ahead without entering. Fragrant Shore. They fixed doors that could not be opened on the first floor of the hotel, replaced a purple door on Terminal E room balcony with a one-way window openable from the inside. Replace free windows into purple and blue rooms with one-sided openable windows like in Hard Cell. Last but not least, we're getting a new agent, but they haven't released any info at all about that. That's all we know for now, but this is a huge update. I for one am looking forward to it. We can expect more details from the developers in the coming days. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're looking forward to most in Season 1. The update is coming by the end of this month. Thanks for watching. You can come watch me play Deceived on Twitch TV most weekday mornings. Come by and say hi. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Till next time, I'll see you guys out there in the field.